Hi everyone, welcome to Wildcat Storytime. This is Miss Capriotti reporting from her classroom, and I am so excited to read a book to you for the week. I'm going to be reading The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig, illustrated by Patrice Barton. And so shout out to my third grade class because they helped me pick this book. They were torn between a Patricia Polacco book, and then we read this one too, and they loved this one. So as I read the story, I want you thinking about what the theme of the story might be, what you notice about the characters in the story. So what can you learn from this story? Okay? So it is called The Invisible Boy. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. So here's Brian. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. Then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. I want you thinking about how Brian's feeling right now. How must he be feeling? In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did except Brian. He wasn't invited. I also want you to look at the pictures and see what you notice about Brian and the other kids. What do you notice in the illustrations? At choosing time while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table, doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons, scaling tall buildings, space aliens locked in intergalactic battles, greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. So this is Justin and this is Brian. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? Asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. It's bulgogi. Bul what? Bulgogi. It's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. Do you want to try some? There's no way I'd eat boogergy. And the kids laugh, all of them. That is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Think about how Brian's feeling now. I also want you to look at the pictures closely. Do you notice anything different about Brian? Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads toward Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find someone else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Mrs. Carlotti said that we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let him work with us. Okay, I guess. So here's what I want you to notice. Brian is usually all black and white colors because he feels invisible. And look how cool this is. When someone's kind to him like Justin and including him, he's starting to get some color. Isn't that cool? So remember, it's called the Invisible Boy. I wonder if he's starting to feel a little less invisible because of his friend. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles as he takes out his lucky pen. And look how colorful Brian is right now in the middle. Probably because he feels included, accepted. He's working with friends. Here they are working together. And he's nice and colorful. It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone shout. Hey, Brian, over here. Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all. And that's the end, and you can see they're sharing, they're happy, and he's full of color, and he's not so invisible anymore. So, I love this story when I read it to my class. It's called The Invisible Boy, and I want you to think about the theme. I think that this story is about friendship and kindness and how when you befriend someone and be kind and accept them, it can make people feel really great inside. So here at Westtown Thornberry, I know we have amazing wildcats who do that for each other every day. So keep this story in mind when you are near other people to help remember to be kind and make new friends. Thank you for listening to our story, and I hope you have a great week and keep reading. Bye, Wildcats. See ya.